violence. Like, you can agitate all you want. Hot Topic will make T-shirts for you. They'll
So-
profit from your position.
So white power threatens the establishment of the United States of America. That's a bunch of white billionaires.
Well, if you notice that white people are organizing and expressing solidarity, that would kind of be a threat to the establishment. I mean, the establishment
To the
doesn't want
establishment of
solidarity,
white men. It's a threat to the president of the United States of America, right? Donald Trump, he's going to really get fucked over when white people get together.
Yeah, he's really the one in charge, right? He's really
Right.
The president of the United States of America is the president. He's the most powerful man in this country. Or
I mean, the point is, the establishment's not worried about a bunch of Marxist ANCOMs getting together and consolidating. They're not concerned about it. They laugh at that idea. You guys are useful
because
idiots.
they passed a bunch of laws making it hard for us to organize unions. They already busted our ass. They've made no laws.
Organize in public and attack people in Charlottesville and get away
What
with
are the laws making it illegal for you guys to go out in the street?
There's not. The only thing is, you guys can come out and you're.
Oh, there's no laws. There's no laws. Oh, the police are in on it. Oh my God, the police finally are forming an alliance with hippies. Holy shit! Thank God the police aren't fully infiltrated by the alt-right. Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Didn't the Charlottesville, when the police were, I guess you'd say, reviewed, and not just their actions, right, but the actions of the governor and of the mayor and declaring a state of emergency.
The police,
Stand-down order. So
these southern white police officers were really mad at the skinheads, and they were super down with the hippies.
Basically said you were allowed to disrupt. You were allowed to come in and disrupt, and you didn't really face any consequences.
No. What happened in Charlottesville was incompetence. What happened was that you guys were scheduled to come into one section, come in through one area, and then they switched that for themselves, but they didn't update it with the people at the ground. But the establishment cops back at the base had already made a decision to put you guys in through the other side. So what happened was you guys got routed the wrong way, and you crossed us when we were supposed to be separated. You crossed the Antifa protesters and shit popped off.
I remember how this worked. We were walking on one side of the sidewalk, and there were protesters on the other side who were just, expressing themselves, and that's fine. But then we started getting hit with pepper spray and all sorts of other things, getting assaulted.
That's true. You guys didn't have guns. You didn't pull guns. You didn't pull pepper spray.
So
you
didn't
do nothing.
Is it appropriate to assault people that are attempting to make it to a venue where they're going to have a meeting and have a few discussions and have some public speaking? I mean, is that okay?
Did we show up with military ordinance to a free speech event, or did you show up with military ordinance to a free speech event?
If we just have it on ourselves,
Are you comfortable if one of your kids' nursery schools has somebody walking? Well, he's just carrying an AK-47. He's not going to use it. No big deal. What's the problem?
So let me attack this guy with tear gas and pepper spray if he's got an AK-47, because that makes sense.
The only person that I'm aware of being on trial for attacking people with tear gas is Christopher Cantwell. You need to talk to your homie about that.
I mean, I was sprayed. Most of us were sprayed with pepper spray.
Cantwell
We weren't
did
attacking
nothing wrong.
anyone.
Baked Alaska.
True, Baked Alaska's been he can't see. Your man's been doing streams completely blind. It wasn't bullshit. It wasn't exaggeration.
I treated him.
He was fucking
He
blind.
was blind at that time, and we had him transported. He did have something happen to his face, for real. And I treated a lot of patients that had pepper spray.
But he healed like Wolverine. You know Wolverine, the guy heals right up.
It's pepper spray. I'd imagine you've built a resistance to it as well.
Yeah, I like how Bronx bloggers acting like the redneck revolt didn't bring guns and point their guns at James Steele's car before he stepped on the throttle.
I mean, regardless, if you got guns or not, if someone's assaulting,
oh, that's what's funny. You guys are concerned about menacing with automatic weapons when one of ours does it.
It's not
when you guys do it,
Were we pointing our weapons?
We weren't fucking. Wait a minute. What did you just say? Wait, hold on. What did you just say, Alex?
I said it's not menacing to just carry a
no.
weapon on your person.
Everybody. No, I heard. Did you just call me a faggot?
Well, you are a faggot.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's pathetic, dude. Go ahead. It's okay, man.
Just
okay. Go ahead.
Or armor, which I didn't have that. Most of us didn't. That doesn't constitute assault or menacing. On the other hand, hitting somebody with pepper spray.
Forming a military formation of like 20 dudes with
going to a venue,
grenades and wild shit. Excuse me.
Forming a procession going to a venue. They're not attacking anybody. They're not actively engaged in assault.
And if they were Muslims,
initiated by Antifa.
and if they were Muslims coming into your town
And
armed with
let me break this down. What happened is you had leftists and liberals who were protesting peacefully, and then amongst them you would have a few Antifa that would pop up and then hit people with pepper spray and then duck down behind the protective wall of cat ladies. That's how
you didn't answer my question. If a Muslim group walked into your little town armed to the teeth, as long as they didn't
attack them. I couldn't
me?
pepper spray them. I couldn't start assault.
No. But if they walked into your town with military weapon and just marched through, it'd be cool. No problem. Freedom of speech.
Well, I wouldn't assault them. And your guys assaulted us, so
Freedom of speech? Would it be freedom of speech if it was Muslims? You
Yeah.
would tell the TDS audience the day before there are Muslims marching with automatic weapons. Don't bother them. God bless them.
I would definitely tell them not to bother them. I do not want that kind of incident happening. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I do not want violence happening in the street as a result of that. So where are you going with this? It sounds like you're condoning violence.
No, whoa, hold on. My point is that shit happens, and what happened there was a logistical failure of the police department. You want to get mad at somebody, get mad at the police for changing the parade route and mixing us closer than they should have. They already had established distance between the two groups, and they mixed us together by mistake. So it's unfortunate what happened, but it was a logistical failure of the police.
It's a logistical failure of Antifa to control their pepper spray. Yeah.
Well, and so I mean, okay, so you're saying it was an honest mistake by the police to mix the people up. They had an order to lead one group this way and to keep the other one separate, and so there was a mistake, and they accidentally lead one group directly into a line of conflict. But they weren't able to, oh my goodness, this is completely the opposite of what we were, ordered to do. We should probably just react, kind of in the moment and fix it. And
what's the incentive of the local police department
to keep the peace?
No. What's their incentive to conspire to create this, to side with Antifa? I don't understand.
No one wanted that protest happening there. The Unite the Right rally was something that the local government disapproved of. They did not want us there.
They want to discourage anyone from coming back there.
Mm-hmm.
Were there public statements made to that effect?
Did you not see what the...
Oh man!
Were there public statements made that they were trying to undermine the protest? Because the report, the final report
of this left and right, dude. Please don't be so stupid.
Oh, of course, there's public condemnations, but public condemnation doesn't mean that they engineered a police conspiracy to create a riot.
They definitely engineered a stand down, and then they also shoved us straight into a melee and encouraged violence, which because they knew you guys would attack, they knew that was going to happen. You just can't contain yourselves because you feel you're morally justified. People, and that's the fucking point. You think that you're the heroes, and you go attack people and throw acid at them, and hit them with pepper spray and assault them.
Was it Antifa that assaulted DeAndre Harris?
DeAndre Harris assaulted someone else just prior. He assaulted Harold Cruz, and then him and his goons were following the rest of the UTR attendees up into the parking garage while they were fucking attempting to leave.
But none of the cameras caught this in a parking structure.
Really?
Actually,
none of the cameras?
you
Really? I'm gonna go find that video right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Was
it's
it
so
admitted?
obvious.
Was it admitted
It's so
as
obvious,
evidence?
dude. It's so fucking obvious. Like, why were they up in the parking garage? Oh yeah, the UTR attendees are trying to leave. These guys are harassing them and attacking.
If it was recorded, how come it didn't make it to court? Why isn't DeAndre
recorded.
Harris behind bars?
Well, the jury
Is it
didn't-
conspiracy? Did Shlomo show up and take the tape?
we do have the footage of this.
How do you have it not the court? Why don't you get it to the
What
court?
you're saying to me is that a verdict from the court is always 100% accurate, and that's why.
No, how did
Trayvon Martin, for example, that was justified.
how did the evidence not make it to the court?
Like the whole George Zimmerman thing? Yeah, he's fine. He did nothing wrong.
How did the evidence in this case, if it exists, was it dismissed? Was it
probably did make it to the court, and regardless, the jury from that area just sided with the person that they wanted to side with.
But you can't substantiate that. You're just making a claim.
I don't need to. What I can substantiate is the fact that DeAndre Harris was assaulting people, specifically Harold Cruz. That we can substantiate.
Side chat.
What? Oh, there it is.
Oh,
The again, this is Infowars stuff, but the second guy I think got found guilty, and they're gonna do some sentencing stuff. If I know America, this guy will get off with fucking he'll get off with suspended sentence, because that's how it often goes. But I just don't buy this whole thing of like one rabbi is behind all this stuff. It's just very dubious.
Well, I didn't assert that, so I don't know who you're responding to.
Again, I made a very reasonable dude. How if the tape exists and it's online, you would think that this would be on the evening news. You would think that this would make all rounds.
Why would you think that would be on the evening news when it would be much more preferable to show a black guy getting beat up by white people?
Was it on any of the right wing outlets? Was it on Infowars? Was it on Rebel? Was it on?
Looking at the news media coverage, they do like to broadcast videos involving blacks meeting some sort of physical abuse at the hands of whites, because they know that's controversial and that's going to get people's attention.
Okay, but I'm saying
Now,
if
we show videos of blacks attacking whites, I mean that happens so frequently. Who cares, right? I mean, that happens every fucking day.
Yeah, it's black cops beating up white subjects. Okay.
I mean, do you have proof that it doesn't happen?
No, but my point is back to the tape. If this tape exists,
that's for me to ask, isn't it?
My point is,
I posted the video. It's right there.
If it exists, then why didn't it make the rounds on the right wing outlets? Why didn't it make it to Infowars? Why didn't it make it to Rebel? Why didn't it make it to your fucking show?
It did.
Why it did actually, but why does that matter in the context of the current debate?
I'm just saying. I thought you guys would have set the world on fire with all that evidence. That's evidence, my man.
Let's bring this back around. What happened at UTR is right wingers were getting together for a rally, protesting the removal of a monument. Antifa assaulted them. Antifa had a pattern of this violence all day long. I treated a lot of people that were attacked by Antifa. Your guys assaulted our people.
But DeAndre Harris, the only yeah, sure, but I mean things again. This wasn't a one-sided thing. It didn't occur where you guys were like on the ground with your hands behind your back.
It was initiated by Antifa. I was there. It was Antifa that initiated.
So your guys didn't put a finger on anybody. You guys didn't push anybody around, beat anybody up.
Who initiated the conflict? Antifa.
The police.
The police initiated the conflict by putting Antifa too close to people that they were likely to attack.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah, it was a logistic fuck up. Yeah.
I like the fact you conceded that point. The problem
again, I have it again. If you if
there weren't, Antifa is fucking violent, and if you put people near them, they attack them. So as police, you need to cordon off Antifa.
And you have plenty of there were plenty of swastikas there. There were plenty of skinheads that came to rock. They had all their prison tats on. So again, it's not like your side doesn't have an Antifa. You have your own fucking Antifa. They just have swastikas on their head.
If Antifa had not shown up, would there have been a conflict?
Don't know. Maybe I can't answer a hypothetical like that.
Nah, there would not have been a conflict. Why would there be a conflict at that point? They're just going to show up, go to their little rally, and that's it.
So I don't understand. You guys are pacifists, or what's up?
Why would anyone fight if it was not for Antifa? Antifa shows up, initiates violence. The right responds.
There have been plenty of riots that were about the fucking LA Lakers that had nothing to do with Antifa.
But you cannot deny that Antifa initiated violence here and caused the situation to escalate. And had they not been present, there would not have been violence.
It's possible. I wasn't in that crowd of people, so I can't pinpoint scientifically when the first hit was thrown, or the first pepper spray was thrown, or the first epitaph was thrown, or
we could we could correlate the presence of Antifa with increased violence at these events. We could certainly do that. We've got tons of examples we could use.
Maybe. Again, it's not happening in a vacuum.
Not maybe, faggot. Definitely.
You keep on coming back to that like that's some kind of an insult to me.
Well, I feel like calling you a faggot.
You're espousing your own disgust at something that I feel no shame about. But continue embarrassing yourself.
To be fair, it's a term of endearment in our circles.
Not to me.
No,
you don't.
Anyway,
no, I honestly wanted to call you faggot for so long.
Continue making your point like an adult, please. Jesus.
I mean, the larger point here is if Antifa is present, they initiate violence and they cause situations to escalate. So the problem is Antifa, not the fact that right wingers want to have a fucking rally somewhere.
Are these right wingers? Are you guys? Is this about tax cuts or?
UTR had a whole host of different right wing people involved.
Seemed like a lot of swastikas there for.
Okay, so swastikas are there, therefore you should assault them.
No, but I'm just saying swastika is not a flag you fly when you're a peaceful movement. Sorry.
So you would say that you're morally justified in trying to disrupt such a gathering because of the swastika?
No, I just don't want. I'm here so that the narrative is not incomplete. So yeah, violence happened. There were logistical problems.
Were you there?
No, but I'm giving my opinion based on what I've seen, what my eyeballs have seen.
But you weren't there.
No, that's why I deferred to you. But I'm just saying that what you're presenting is incomplete.
Which is we were marching to the venue, we were attacked en route.
Were you flying above the whole crowd like a hawk, or?
I mean, I was personally pepper sprayed on the way there.
So your broken eyeballs saw every incident of violence that happened there.
I definitely saw myself getting pepper sprayed along with the rest of my contingent, who were not attacking people.
But did your side pepper spray us too, or?
How could we pepper spray people that were hiding behind church ladies?
So it's
we were definitely not attacking anybody on our way to the rally point.
Because Cantwell has admitted to spraying people.
At the rally or at the previous night? And regardless, if Cantwell pepper sprayed somebody, that doesn't excuse other individuals from attacking a separate group the next day.
No. Look, you want me to agree with you that people shouldn't be beaten to death or something over walking around on the street that way? That's fine. But again, it's not occurring in a vacuum. It's not like you guys were standing there minding your own business, sucking a lollipop. You know what I mean?
Sounds like victim blaming. It sounds like victim blaming where you're saying, well, they were asking for this. Right wingers, they were asking for that. They had swastikas. Therefore, pepper spray.
No, you're extrapolating on my position.
Yeah, but you're trying to place blame on individuals that deserve no blame. They were just simply there for an event. And
I feel like you're slut-shaming Cantwell, to be honest.
Well, he is a whore.
I don't know. Do you want to defend Cantwell, or that seems like a tough job?
Really speak to Cantwell or what happened there?
No, good.
He's not my guy. He's other people's guy. I got no problem with the guy, but he's not my guy.
Do you think that the kid that was found guilty should be let off?
In regards to DeAndre Harris case, absolutely.
Even though he beat the shit out of DeAndre Harris, almost killed the kid.
Well, if you like the rest of the video, they were initiating the attack.
Yeah,
and then
they followed him for 15 minutes, you fucking retard.
Followed him, or they put their hands on him?
They followed him and attempted to attack them multiple times before they actually struck the man with the flashlight, and that's when he got his fucking ass beat, you goddamn communist piece of shit.
Was it thrown out of court, or like who? I don't understand. Oh yeah, got this. Please contact your local news division and take them the tape.
Well, you asked me
what does the Jewish media have? What does the Jewish media have to gain? Huh?
This was related, and I remember this was a while ago, right? Steven Crowder and his assistant, Not Gay Jared, they went undercover, and they infiltrated Antifa, right? And they have the video of Antifa. Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying something. It was me echoing. I'm echoing.
You're echoing because Bronx didn't mute himself.
They go in there, right, and they have video evidence of these people having weapons, of them saying that, yeah, we can attack people. And so they approach a local news group and they say, hey, look at everything we have. We have this evidence. It's this video. We want to hand it to you. It's all yours. Put it out there. Cover the story. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Right? Because
was the video edited?
A narrative.
Was the video edited?
No, it was completely unedited. When they put it up on their YouTube channel, of course it was edited.
Oh, okay. It was pure off screen when we didn't see it. Okay, go ahead.
What the fuck are you talking about? Come on, now you're
so.
So it didn't happen.
Oh, okay. You know, I was
You know-
trying to actually say you asked for an example of the media not taking stuff like that. I gave you one, and obviously you do not want to even try to engage in any level of honesty.
Okay. So Steven Crowder, who is not a journalist, a comedian doing investigative journalism, where he could partially be staging stuff or trying to entrap people, is different from the eye in the sky in a parking lot. Is impartial. It's not edited. You take that.
Bronxy, get it together.
You take that unedited footage from a parking structure. It's impartial. There's no staging. There's no political agenda. It's just a wide angle shot of a surveillance camera. Why would they turn that down? It's not journalism. It's just a fucking surveillance camera.
Oh goodness, really?
Well, what you're saying is that this verdict should have been impossible based on the footage, but they could have that footage thrown out. I mean, there's any number of reasons why that wouldn't have made it to court.
But they didn't. It never even went there. It hasn't been covered by anyone. So I don't understand why the court
How do you
would
know? Also, I'm pretty sure this guy was either representing himself or a public defender or something like that. It's not like you could afford a good lawyer. Might have been some of that socioeconomic status you were talking about earlier.
Oh, he's too privileged for a good defense attorney.
No. My point is that the Crowder thing is different from the surveillance. It's not surveillance. Surveillance footage is impartial. So I'm saying if they had surveillance footage that showed that DeAndre Harris was attacking people, I don't understand why that wouldn't be. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison with Steven Crowder's expose.
With the YouTube video that was taken, right? Because we watched a YouTube video. We watched somebody filming it. So obviously you could say, well, that person could have edited it. That person could have taken it out of context. That person, hey, we don't know what their political leaning is.
I thought
some biased fashion.
I thought you guys were claiming you had surveillance. No, you just have what, a camera phone?
Something you don't even know about?
So we can't use camera phone footage anymore as evidence. That's interesting.
No, I'm just saying. I misunderstood. I misunderstood. That's all.
It sounds like you're just going to tactically deny any kind of evidence, but that's sort of your
No. You say it exists. I believe you that it exists. It's obviously been shared. I just want to know what the mechanics are of them completely ignoring it.
Well, maybe you should find that out.
Shall we? I have it on screen.
Your guys' show?
Well, I mean, we're going a little late. If Alex wants to do it, that's fine. I don't want to impose on our guests, though.
Oh, that's fine. We can do it after the show, after this is done, and just he can watch it after he leaves. I don't know.
No, you can play it. That's fine.
All right.
Well, you have, because I saw the thing you posted. It's like 15 minutes. Do you have like a queued up to a good point?
You guys carry on. I'm gonna go to Hunter's article on this. All right.
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
Sure. Well, I've got a question just to kind of go away from Charlottesville for a minute. And if you guys want to go back to it, I absolutely have no problem with it. But a friend here wanted to ask about your opinion on the Bronx blogger issue. Wanted to ask what your opinion is on the Democrats' plan to guarantee employment with the $15 an hour jobs that's being floated in certain circles as a party platform.
Fine. It's something. They're not actually going to go through with it, but it's fine. I mean, helps labor, helps workers.
By
It's not
allowing
my
them to
this is not my
participate in
system.
capitalism.
This isn't my system, dude. I want people to survive until this all ends. So, yeah, if it helps people pay groceries and rent and all that shit, it's fine. It's not. I'm not jumping over the moon. It's not a utopianist thing for me. It's not as dissimilar to like an FDR Democrat thing, and it'll never pass.
This raises an interesting question. Would you rather see people succeed under the current capitalist society, or would you rather see a collapse followed by communism?
And there's no way to preclude a collapse of this existing capitalist order. The environment is no longer bearing the burden of this. At some point, all this is just going to come down because the Earth is just not going to let it happen. So we're all going to have to make do in the ashes, whether it's 20, 40, 50 years from now, whatever it is. This is not sustainable.
Would you prefer to see people materially do well under capitalism now?
I would prefer for the maximum number of people to survive and live well under the existing order until there's nothing else. And again, I'd like it to be evenly distributed.
Okay. So what you're essentially saying is that you're not any threat to the current establishment whatsoever, and that you'll go along with things the establishment produces so long as it helps the people that you're interested in.
No, but again, I don't understand. You want me to take some kind of moral position that I want poor people to be fucked by capitalism until it falls?
I mean,
No.
I'm just trying to understand how you're a revolutionary in any sense of the word.
Well, we're falling back on this. Again, I this whole thing of like, oh, you're not ripping down the Goldman Sachs building, so you're not a revolutionary. Like, under this existing order, a $15 minimum wage is subversive. Under this existing order, guaranteed employment is subversive. So that's all I can really say.
I'm allowed to
It
do
doesn't
that
seem.
because you've been trying to do it to white nationalists and right wingers all night long. So if I want to criticize you for not being a true revolutionary, I think I have that ability.
That's fine. I didn't realize you saw yourself as a revolutionary. I thought you were trying to preserve
I just
existing
thought
white
it's very
hegemony.
interesting that you saw yourself as revolutionary against a system that's not in power. Like you're revolutionary against right wingers that obviously don't really have any control or influence.
I mean, again, I don't think you see yourself in the way that I see you because, again, this Trump and all that stuff is all connected. It's not like, the alt-right, it's so funny you guys are like disavowing Trump now. You were sucking his dick 2 years ago. It's very confusing to me.
Well, is Trump a Nazi? Is he a fascist?
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're telling me that you're not in power, I'm saying that's not accurate.
Okay, so if I'm in power, then I should be able to publicly talk about views and not be fired, not face political ramifications, economic ramifications. As a right winger, as an evil Nazi, you can just be openly racist, and nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Are you
President.
insane?
Yeah. The
Are you
president of the United
fucking
States of
insane?
America
Okay.
was openly racist over and over and over and over again.
You're an Antifa. One of your tactics is to dox people, and it works. If it wouldn't work if it wasn't true that we're not in power.
Well, it's not
Fucking shit, dude.
it's not profitable at a certain scale, but if you're rich enough in this country, you can be the most miserable,
okay.
hateful piece of shit that you want. And obviously, doxing didn't work.
Okay.
You still got your fucking job.
Yeah, well, there.
Is it
For
that
most-
bad? I mean, obviously you're living good.
Bronx.
Is the average alt-righter living in poverty? Is Spencer living in a garbage can?
Many
Or?
of them have been doxxed and lost their jobs. That shouldn't be possible under your analysis, which is that the dominant ideology.
Yeah, but then they get a job as a right-wing victim. That's the thing. There's even more money on Patreon. There's even more money in super chats. They're all good to go. You're better off being a grievance political figure.
Off of that, there are two people in this call that have had shitty fake docs as well. I don't know about some of it, but there have been doxes put out on people in this very fucking call this week.
And you go on Red Ice TV and you go, oh, it's because I believe in white liberation.
What happened to Google?
Patreon link in the description.
Having streams? No, Google's life got fucked up because Antifa decided to dox him.
Donate Bitcoin. Donate Dogecoin.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you don't lose your fucking government paid job because your ideology is very much in line with what they want to promote, and I think that that's absolutely hypocritical. You're a fucking dishonest scumbag for that, man.
A civil service job is not going to be an extreme capitalist position, buddy.
If I had
labor.
your job,
It's a union. It's a union job.
ideology came out, I would lose that job because I actually believe in something revolutionary, unlike you. Who is
How
a
does
commodity
my
for the status
position
quo.
stop me from serving the public?
How does my position stop me from serving the public?
Well, sir, you serve. You are there to preserve life, and if you have a certain opinion
why
about
would
Jewish
I not
people,
preserve life professionally? That's like saying that if I own a Chevrolet and I work at a Ford manufacturing plant, I'm going to fuck up what I'm doing. That doesn't
it's
make
possible.
sense.
A private employer might want you to own their brand. That's a private employer.
That's
idiotic. Do you work a public job?
Professional, I want to be good at what I do.
You're trying
Okay.
you're trying to accuse him of almost letting his political beliefs allow someone to die under his care.
Right. That's fucked up.
Are you
an
kidding
are
me?
you an exterminationist?
I'm not an exterminationist.
Are there exterminationists on? Are there exterminationists on the Daily Show?
Even if I was, that would not affect care.
So
Because
if
that's
you were an exterminationist and you believe that you wanted to end black people and drop a nuke on Africa and wanted to annihilate Jewish people, you would still preserve. You could be trusted to preserve the life of a black patient or a Jewish patient, even though you have made your moral ethos about exterminating this group of people.
You can separate your professional duties from your private life, believe it or not. I know maybe you struggle with this, but the rest of us don't.
So you can support mass murder, but on a personal level, also be in favor of preserving individual lives, even though you, in the long term, want that group of people murdered in mass. There's no cognitive dissonance there.
Making a few eggs, man.
So are you an exterminationist?
I mean, it's
I'm
entirely
not an
possible.
exterminationist.
Is Jo an exterminationist?
I can't speak
Alex?
for anybody
He's not in the
No,
call.
Alex.
I'm not going to speak for him, dude. He's
Yeah,
not in the call.
don't call someone out that's not in the call. That's just
No. Well, I'm just saying. Again, the program itself that you represent, the program you're a part of, has expressed exterminationist views.
Well,
And
that's only going to apply when I'm on the program. If I'm wearing a uniform that I'm representing that agency, and it's a completely different ball game, dude. I mean, that's how adulthood works.
we're
do you
talking
work
about-
for a public government, or do you work for a private company?
Well, why would I answer that question?
Well, you don't have to, but let me
I mean,
let me
I'm not
give my
gonna-
answer
I'm not
anyway.
going to answer any questions about that kind of topic.
No,
because
you don't have
of the
to.
nature
Alex-
Even though I did,
You don't have.
I'm no. Even though I did,
Okay, why are you more comfortable answering that question than I am? Why would that be?
I don't know. I'm fine.
Well,
I'm fine with.
It's because you don't face the same consequences as people in this call would face for revealing where they were. That's
Get a
very
pub-
telling. It's very fucking telling.
Get a public sector job, get a union, and you can think whatever you want. But if you're going to be a wage slave for a private company, then they're going to tell you that it's bad optics and bad press and fire your ass, unless your boss is trash.
Oh, so weird. The capitalistic private industry.
No,
actually-
not me. I'm just saying that in this existing order, just like you want me to be in favor of Antifa being arrested because the existing order says so, unfortunately, the existing order says that being whatever, a Holocaust denier, or whatever wild shit you're into, is bad for press, and bad press is bad for profit.
So you're saying
fuck yourself.
the capitalistic industries are actually more ideologically lined up with your views than with right wing.
Get yourself a civil service job and join a labor union, and
I mean,
you
I
can
just
say
want you to
all the
try to, like,
nasty shit.
Get this in your head. Get this in your head. Okay, your views are acceptable. You're not a revolutionary. You don't actually. You don't represent any threat to the system whatsoever. In fact, you probably help support it.
They cannot fire you from the post office for your beliefs. So go get a job at the post office.
So what?
That's it. Sorry.
I feel like you're just
You can
still
get
desperately
discharged from
clinging to
military
this
for your
fake
beliefs.
identity. This fake identity where you're a revolutionary and somehow you support stuff that's like.
Well, there are revolutionary ideas, I'm sure, but again, they're not
none
as
of your,
like.
none of your ideas are actually that revolutionary. You're not
So
even
do
that
we-
of a Marxist to begin with, and the establishment is like, okay, well, this is fine. Maybe he supports anarcho-communism, but he's not actually going to do anything that's tangible to bring about that. He's
No,
gonna
we're not.
things
We're not
that fall.
violent. No, we're not. We're not.
I mean,
We're not
you admit to it on the call.
planning.
You're just hoping that society eventually, somewhere far down the line, collapses, and we have
No, not
communism.
society. Capitalism. You're living in the
Capitalism,
downfall right now. You guys are planning the same thing. How many times you said on the program you're waiting for the existing order to collapse, and you guys
But
rebuild
you're
in the
not-
ashes?
You're not materially doing anything that's threatening the existing order whatsoever, right? It's what it kind of looks like.
Labor organizing harms
you
the
did-
existing order. There's
you
a lot
didn't
of
even show
again.
the Charlottesville
We're not all
crisis.
just. I
I
don't have the means. I don't
Wait,
have the
is
means.
The
my friend.
AFL-CIO some sort of revolutionary organization?
No, but the act of organizing labor and fighting for a higher wage and all that stuff—that's not mainstream. They're not gonna hand that to
What
you.
exactly that is like a major threat to the existing paradigm? What have you done so far?
We are me as an individual or the movement at
you
large.
as an individual, what have you done?
I mean, I participated in labor fucking dogged out. Labor organizing, protests for higher minimum wage. You know, I don't. You know, again, it doesn't seem like a threat to you, but to an extremely into a fucking in the home of Wall Street. Yeah, man, it's subversive over here.
If you were to actually get that minimum wage, there would be capitalistic firms that would benefit, though.
I have no choice. I don't want. I'm not going to abandon workers because they're private sector. I
so
want
you're
everybody
really
to make a
not-
living wage.
You're not really a threat to anything, and you're not disrupting anything.
If we're not a threat, then why do you guys cry about us all day and all night and weep and gnash your teeth about how we are stopping you from going out and praying to Adolf Daddy? I understand, we're very dangerous, but we're also very harmless. I get it.
Well, no, I'm speaking to you personally. You personally don't do anything that's controversial, rocks the boat, really affects anything.
I don't know. Do you want
at
to
all.
come live in my house, dude? Like, I don't understand. What's
Is it
the
nice?
subject
Do you have a
of
nice
here?
house?
It's all right. It'd be
You got a
better
good
with
couch?
anyway. Something like that. You can sleep on the floor, man. I don't.
Aw.
You know, again, what do you do that's subversive, Alex? What do you do?
Well, I was in Charlottesville and some other events. I the protest in D.C. I mean, like sort of high-profile things that were all over national.
Yeah, but you're not a threat to power. You're a threat to people further down the chain. White supremacy harms poor people. White supremacy harms disadvantaged people.
Threat to power that they allowed it to be disrupted and let the entire event go to shit. So there must be something there.
Is Donald Trump
As-
against white people?
As a Marxist, you should understand that.
Well, hold on.
people-
I'm not a Marxist.
Okay, you're an Ancom, whatever.
Yes.
You've read some Wikipedia entries.
Yes, sir.
So basically, the thing is, with whites forming solidarity, forming actually tangible groups, that would be more of a threat to the existing paradigm, versus having
Correct.
everybody atomised, individuated, and just doing their own thing. And
The
not-
federal government right now is against white people collectively participating, right? Like Donald Trump is against white power, right?
Did you say collectively organizing? The federal government's against people collectively organizing. Is that what you just
White.
said?
I said white people.
So the federal government is against groups collectively organizing. Okay, sounds like we're kind of on the same page here.
I'm asking you: is the president of the United States against white families? I don't understand. Is he against? Does he disagree with you?
Has he built that wall yet?
Does he not want to build the wall? I don't understand.
I like that you jumped to families when I was talking about widespread white collective action. That's kind of funny.
Why?
And then you also seem to think that labor organizing is a threat to the paradigm, but apparently whites doing something similar would not be. That's very curious, Bronxy.
I don't understand how there's some
Well,
kind
yeah,
of a
we know you don't
conspiracy. There's some kind of a conspiracy to destroy the white family in the United States of America. It's very, very questionable with all three branches of the government being the white family party. Like, I don't understand. Are the Republicans SJWs or?
That's pretty funny that you keep deflecting back to this family thing. I'm talking about, like, if you had widespread white agitation, whites making demands, whites forming solidarity, forming massive collectives, that would be an issue for the establishment for the same reasons that you think it'd be a problem for the labor organization.
Is the Republican Party anti-white?
They're certainly not helping white people.
Mm,
For white
very interesting. They're not helping black people either. Who the fuck are they helping?
themselves, apparently.
The majority of Republicans are.
I mean, would you not agree the political establishment is entirely self-serving?
In an economic sense, the Republican Party still believes in and preserves white Christian identity, white Christian privilege in this country. It's
not
pretty.
really.
It's in their platform. Maybe not to your liking, but they
It's not really accomplishing anything. I mean, maybe in name, but not in actual real-world outcomes.
I don't understand when you defund when you defund certain social programs that are racially coded. When you undo affirmative action, that's pro-white, isn't it?
It's actually just neutral. I mean, the affirmative action stuff is pro-black, so you're just making everything equal.
See, that's the white default thing. Like you just think that when things are going your way, you're not getting any particular amount of benefit or privilege. You are. You've just been taught that you winning is average. It's just the way things are.
Well, if the game isn't rigged for any one participant and we do well, what's the problem? How is it?
because it was rigged. The whole point of affirmative action was that it was rigged. Was
So
it
the
not illegal
solution-
for
So the solution to a rigged game is to rig it?
balance? How do you get back to balance?
How does that balance it? That seems like it'd be very difficult to really establish, like, which whites had privilege and which ones didn't, which blacks had privilege and which blacks didn't have privilege. That'd be very hard to square that.
Were poor white people on par with black people during Jim Crow?
There were blacks that owned Irish slaves.
Oh boy, here we go.
I mean, not that I'm arguing for the Irish as white, but, you know.
There we go. Here we go.
Okay, so
Were-
there we go. We've gone there. Now what?
Were poor whites beneath or above poor blacks during the era of segregation and slavery?
So is it anti-black to point out, or is it, I guess, anti-blacks in terms of slavery to point out there were white indentured servants that, obviously were
Well,
slaves?
hang on, Kayla, and I hate to cut you off, but you did make a separate point. I want to respond to that point specifically, because it's an interesting point. I referenced earlier lynching studies. If you read A Festival of Violence, which is a really good academic analysis of lynching epidemiologically, they did find that a lot of that was really caused by tensions. Well, this is one of the hypotheses they tested that didn't bear out in the statistics, but they were testing whether or not a lot of the lynching was because of economic issues between poor whites and poor blacks in the South. Because poor whites were actually significantly disadvantaged by poor blacks, because poor blacks would be hired for a lot cheaper than poor whites could be as sharecroppers and other, low rent farmers. And you see the same thing very common today with Hispanic immigrants to this country, where they will be given preferential hiring in agricultural and manual labor positions because they work for less. So yeah, poor whites are absolutely disadvantaged.
Was it black people doing the hiring, or was it other white people fucking white people over?
Well, you're the one arguing for the class separation.
Was it white people fucking over poor white people?
You're arguing for class separation.
The black people got lynched because white people were hiring them?
No, they got lynched. No. As I said, that's not what bared out. What it bared out was that most lynchings were caused because there were issues with the justice system, which lynching kind of, filled in. But
wait, what?
Yeah. There was like 3,000 lynchings. Most of them were related to criminal issues that were not addressed appropriately by the justice system at the time.
So you're telling me...
Festival of Violence. It's a great book. You should go read it.
You're telling me that lynchings were justified because black people were not getting convicted 100%
I'm not saying
of the
all
time?
lynchings were justified, but there were certainly lynchings that happened because the justice system failed to do its job, and the community believed that justice needed to be carried out. And here's the thing: 1/3 of those who were lynched in this country were white. It wasn't just a racial thing. But of course, just like biology, you're understanding.
I don't endorse white people being lynched. I don't endorse anyone being lynched. My point is that it was predominantly to black people. But lynching is wrong regardless of who it happens to.
Someone rapes and murders a 12-year-old girl, and they get off because the police fucked up the process with the evidence and the jury. It was a hung jury. Would you not support the community? Maybe taking a known child rapist murderer out of
dragging them out and murdering them. But you want me to clutch pearls because Antifa sprayed...
I was quiet that entire conversation. No.
I'm not expecting any pearl clutching. I'm just pointing out who's responsible.
Vigilante violence is fine as long as it's black.
So what you're saying is you advocate child rape and murder?
Do you condone vigilante violence?
What's more interesting is he thinks that child rape and murder is equivalent to going to Unite the Right rally. Like that's sort of in the same moral category.
Exactly.
Do you endorse? I didn't say that. That's you putting words inside of my mouth.
Well, you implied it.
No,
ask
absolutely
the
not.
question. Ask the question, Bronx. What's your question to me?
Do you endorse vigilante violence? I don't understand.
I am a fan of Batman. I think Batman did not do anything wrong.
And give me like an adult answer. You either do or you don't.
I think that there are times when the justice system fails, and that a community is more. Yes, I believe that in times a community is morally obligated to step in where the justice system fails.
You don't think you're gonna get some false positives there?
I think that if somebody is out there poisoning a community, raping women, hurting children, doing awful things, and the people that are supposed to do the job of protecting the community fail to do so, then perhaps the community should step in and resolve it. I'm not out there advocating for lynch mobs, but I am saying that sometimes a lynch mob is not completely the wrong thing.
I'm not.
Did I break him?
Do you agree with this position?
Sorry,
you cut out. Say again.
Do you agree with this position that sometimes there are good lynch mobs?
There are good lynch mobs sometimes, absolutely. There are people that sometimes were very bad people and deserve to get lynched.
Right. Not Nazis, just accused child molesters.
See, this is why I know you're dumb, because you fell right into the thing that I sort of telegraphed to you earlier.
Son.
Well, you're equating now child rape to holding.
No. I'm just saying it's wrong all the way across the board. If somebody put in the newspaper tomorrow that Antifa dragged some alt-right person out of their house and hung them or burned them, I would condemn it because it's disgusting, and I would not endorse. I do not endorse.
I don't believe that for a second, but to quote Richard Spencer, you put one of ours in the hospital with 6 years in the morgue. Just throwing that out there.
So you guys are a gang,
that's
then?
the thing. It's a cycle of.
No, you guys are a gang, right?
I'm saying
Right.
if you want to engage in vigilante, because that's not vigilante justice, dude. Vigilante justice is a community stepping in where the justice system failed, and the people in the community taking on the role of justice, which is what it should be anyway, and doing it. You think that in an
So George Zimmerman should have been George Zimmerman.
You're the one arguing for a horizontal community-based society where everyone's made up of like these little local collectives. Do you not get that's what a lynch mob is? A lynch mob is a bunch of people coming together spontaneously to form a society. That is anarcho-communism.
You could say that about a bunch of pedophiles on the dark web horizontally sharing child pornography. It's not a pure paradigm,
dude. Antifa is a bunch of pedophiles in the dark web sharing pornography.
Perfect. No, calm paradise.
No, didn't you recently have a problem with someone called Zoom? Wasn't that somebody near you that was a secret pedophile?
Well, I don't know that the evidence is out there. He maintains that he's not, and frankly, I think that there's a good argument to be made on both sides. But you know what happened when that came out? I disassociated with him, and he fucking hates me now. You know why?
Okay.
Because I don't support pedophiles. Yeah.
Neither do I.
You apparently are going out there saying that people should not be defending their communities against monsters who prey on children. So I don't know.
So you would endorse George Zimmerman after his verdict being lynched by the black.
You mean the guy who did nothing wrong?
No. You said people who got off, and that the community collectively believed were guilty. So that happened in the Zimmerman case. So could the black community in Florida pull homeboy out of his house and kill him?
They could try.
Is
I don't
George Zimmerman white?
No, he's brown.
Yeah, he's a brown.
His daddy judge that pulled all the strings was white.
Look, if some idiots want to kick in Zimmerman's door and try to get him in a state with strong stand your ground laws against a heavily armed George Zimmerman, I encourage them to try. I really do, because I'm sure that will end very well for them.
Right, but if they successfully dragged him from his house and hung him and burned him,
well, it would
that's
seem
justice
to be a
in your opinion.
No, I'm saying that would seem to be a miscarriage of justice. Would you say that there are not people that are guilty that have gotten off? Do you think that George Zimmerman was guilty? Because that's the thing. You're taking a specific case. If George Zimmerman was really guilty and he got off, then yeah, perhaps that would be a good solution.
How do you infer who's really guilty? Is my point. In any case, in any scenario, how do you prove it other than collective? It could be mass hysteria. Why would you? I don't know.
I just can't believe you're arguing against collective decision making on a local scale.
I don't endorse it in a universal sense. It's not there's no such thing as an absolute good. I'm not saying that it's an absolute good just because something is democratic.
I think you play around with being an anarcho-communist because it's a fun little ideology that doesn't really affect you, but you can take these moral stances based on it. I mean, it's not like
you
really
are such a coward that you don't even admit you're alt-right. You fucking worm, to turn to me and tell me that I'm disingenuous. You fucking skinhead.
What, that I'm alt-right? Okay, I'm alt-right. Now what?
But did you deny it? Did you deny it the other day? So which one was it?
I don't remember what conversation that was.
Listen. I'm just pro-white. I'm just pro-white, man. I don't know who's all right. But even now, Spencer, that little worm, I'm not all right. I'm an identitarian. Come on, man. You want to talk about pussy moves?
I mean, I don't understand what you're saying here. I just told you I'm alt-right. I'm alt-right. I'm what else? Am I racist? Yeah,
racist. That seems to change depending on the time of day, though. It seems to be
you're in on my mood at that time.
You're in a safe space. You're in a safe space. You're not in public. You're not on Twitter where somebody could fucking get you pulled off for it. So again, you're saying it here because you feel safe saying it, but outside you give doublespeak. I own my positions at all times.
So what you're saying is that I make reasonable moves to protect myself from getting banned from Twitter.
I got banned, dude.
So
we've all been there.
I'm a coward for not getting banned from Twitter.
I got banned from Twitter for making an argument about fucking beheading Holocaust deniers. Now it was a mistake and I was angry, but I said what I felt.
Okay, so you're saying that I'm smarter than you are.
No, you're disingenuous. You lie.
No, I'm not being disingenuous. I'm just playing by the rules of whatever game I happen to be a part of at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would I say stuff that would just get me banned?
Saying you're all right won't get you banned.
Okay. Well, I could say that. Would that make you happy?
Yes. I want the next 10 tweets out of your account to be I am all right, I am all right, I am all right.
A lot of tweets repeating the same thing.
Yeah,
I probably won't do
that's
it.
good. Yeah, that's good. My point is that I own my position at all times, and you can think what you want of my position, but
your position is sort of just this abstract ideal. I mean, it's kind of the same
it's
thing.
the same thing as your position. Your position has
Except
not
I'm
been...
doing stuff that's trying to make a difference here. Like I'm organizing, I'm inspiring people to get together, whites take their own side here, and we're forming communities. So no.
How much of that is happening on the internet? Again, we just produce content on the internet, mostly you and I. I don't understand how this thing of like who's not Malcolm X of their movement. Are you the Malcolm X of your movement, dude?
Real life get-togethers and things too, where a whole lot of this associates.
There is a New York City chapter of Antifa. I would invite you to come visit it.
Probably very small.
I wouldn't advise you.
But I thought that Antifa was peaceful. Why would I face any consequences?
No, it's a real life organization. I'm just saying to you that it's a real.
Have tea and crumpets together.
I guarantee you that there are more physical chapters of Antifa in this country than whatever organization you're part of, including the Sons of Odin.
Well, I'm not part of the Sons of Odin.
Point is that there are more Antifa chapters in this country than your groups, unless you're counting like the Klan and shit.
Okay, and what do they accomplish?
Different goals, different places. It's direct action.
Basically, all they accomplish is trying to disrupt right-wing events. That's it.
That's
all
the
they
goal.
do
Mission
is
mission accomplished. We done real good. God bless America. We did good.
Just try to do disruption. Aside from that, materially, you don't do anything.
Our job is to stop you from becoming mainstream. So we go out there and we make it clear to people that you're not normal. It's just pushing back against you becoming normalized and your talking points.
You make it clear that we're not normal by running around like a bunch of costume transsexuals. Because you understand that the majority of the country hates you. They fucking hate you. They hate
So
to see
you think that they see you and they see my people, and the average American goes, I don't like the tranny.
Yeah, actually they do.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
They look at neo-Nazis and they go to swastika. That's some American shit right there. That's really normal, man.
How dumb do you guys feel when you realize that you have worse optics than actual Nazis?
Do you think that the swastika is good optics?
Better than wearing a fucking black mask and black
You mean the fresh out of the package swastika at Charlottesville? Is that the one you're talking about? The one with all the folds where the fucking retard couldn't even take 15 minutes to throw it in the dryer to take the folds out? Yeah.
The swastika was a false flag. What about all the other TWP logos and symbols and black suns and all that stuff? We put people in uniforms too. We put the logo on people's shields, dummy.
That's not an argument.
You just ate your own ass. Did we put white supremacist symbols there, or did they bring them, dummy?
We didn't bring them.
Is this the new Antifa strategy, eating your own ass?
Yeah.
How did your homeboy get that picture with the shield, with the white supremacist cross? We put those on those shields.
What's wrong with the shield?
But there was a white supremacist symbol on the shield.
What's wrong with the black sun? The black sun's awesome.
Wait, wasn't Pepe, like the frog, seen as a white supremacist symbol? So, I mean, I don't know if I really trust these classification systems. Just saying.
Again, if you think those aren't white supremacist symbols, then go to a rally.
Category. It seems like a very arbitrary category. Like he's just drawing imaginary lines here. It's got like Nazi symbols in there, but it could be any kind of symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I truly wonder when the last time Bronx Blogger got his dick sucked. It's probably been years.
It's completely irrelevant to this. Are you done?
It's like, dude,
I hear
get on Craigslist and pick up a hooker, man. It's like, it's not hard.
It's New York. You can get Grindr. It's fine.
Yeah.
I hear. I don't know these things. Anyway, well, maybe we should wrap up. We've been going for almost 3.5 hours now. Yeah, it's been really fun. I do got to say, Bronx, I appreciate you being a trooper about this.
I do as well. I like Bronx. I like when Bronx comes on Twitter and that stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been a really fun show. I hope you didn't feel. I mean, obviously it was a little heated, but
no, I knew what it was, and I just want to make clear. I said to Enoch, it wasn't like a personal thing. It's not like I want to fucking like go to homeboy's house and strangle him or something. It's just I just want my position to be represented, and So people in your audience got both sides, and sure, it was antagonistic, but like I said, it's
and
not
if
like
you ever want to come back, I'll be happy to issue a standing invitation to any show I'm hosting, because you seem like a good sport about this kind of stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah. And the best way to get your side out there is here and express it. So
Yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
so thanks for having me on all that stuff, and to be continued, right?
Yeah. Have a good night, man.
You got
It was fun, Bronx. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, man. I'll see you on Twitter.
I got to call you a faggot, and I've just been wanting to do that for so long.
Congratulations.
Making dreams come true. All right. Well, I just want to give a shout out to everybody for watching, and to the McNabb for coming through. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, sir. We're back. We're fucking back, and we're gonna keep doing awesome shit. So keep watching. This spot. I don't know when the next show is, but it'll probably be soon. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.